New Prime Minister, new promises. The latest one is social care. Will they be able to solve it? Assalamualaikum and welcome. This is the only way. Oh, so the Prime Minister announced this big new scheme of taking social care seriously. How has this become such a problem and will they be able to solve it?
Yes, Uncle Shani, hope you're well. So, this is actually the Western problem. The populations are getting older, there are more pensioners than there's ever been. The money available to pensioners is getting smaller and smaller. So, how do you deal with this? And you'll find across the Western world, the social welfare budget, the number of people going into old age pensioner homes, the number of people that leave the workforce, and the number not being replaced is only getting larger and larger. So, we've seen with Andy Burnham, he's talking about helping in this area, paying people to take care of their elders. And I think this issue for a long time it's looked at through an economic lens, which is the cost. And in fact, my intro is a lot about the cost and how much it's going to cost the state. However, people don't live in isolation. People live in families. People have children. Why is this not a cultural practice? You go to many parts of Africa, you go to many parts of South Asia, you see extended families. You have the grandparents, you have their child, their children, and their children, 3 generations living in one house. In fact, in many parts of the world, it's considered shameful that your parents are put in an old age pensioners home. Your parents live with you, and you take care of them. Um, so there's a massive cultural problem. In fact, elderly people are being seen more and more as a burden. They're not working, so the economic value is brought into question. And then now all they view that is they're a cost, and the cost is only going higher and higher because the number of people that are getting older is more and more the proportion of wider society. So Andy Burnham has talked about helping in this particular area, but it seems to be that people are going to get paid, although he's calling it help, to actually take care of their parents and take care of their elders. And this isn't a solution really. In fact, what this shows you is there are some serious cultural or values issues here where the Western world has got to a point now where this is how they're viewing this issue. Um, and there's a number of other social issues evolving around this. The fact that people aren't having children in the West, that leads on to the problem of more and more immigration to fill this gap. And you're just seeing the breakdown of family. There's been so much research that the family is essential to build, responsible adults, sensible adults who go out and contribute towards society. You break down the family, what you're left with is many, many other issues that the state then has to provide for. So I think this again, it really just revealed that there are some serious cultural issues when it comes to taking care of your elders, taking care of your dependents, and no amount of economic solutions can really solve this.
Yeah, and I think the underlying issue in all of this is the breakdown of the family. This steady decline of relationships, of bonds, and it's not just elderly parents with their children, it's the husband and wife bond, the longevity of marriage, the sibling bonds, the wider society in terms of wider siblings, uncles and aunties, nephews, but in particular the parents. Why? Because they're the most vulnerable. So the word, it sounds nice, social care, but the deep reality is it's neglect of your own mother and father. How are we dealing with neglect of your own mother and father? And the government is sounds very nice, saying this, we need to sort this out. This is a problem. This is a problem that they've manufactured. They've made life so hard. They've made it difficult to turn the lights on, have food in the fridge, and have heated homes. Uh, okay, everyone works. Everyone works. Mom works. Dad works. Kids work. Everyone works. Uh, there is no room for the parents. There is no room for the elderly parents, and they've promoted this through many policies, many situations where the bond with the boss at work, the bond with the work, the bond with the CV, the bond with the career pathway has become more stronger than the bond with the husband and wife. with the bond with the parents, with the bond with the raising children. So wherever we go, we see about families breaking down, and social care is one aspect of that. But it's wider, it's more comprehensive, and it's been promoted, instigated, directed by the government within themselves and their policies, in the way they look after the elites, and with the views that they've been promoting in society. So when they come out and the government says we want to look at this, it just seems very disingenuous, very insincere. Yes, they may be able to look after it, but in a very unnatural way, of non-families, and just weak bonds and weak relationships, and the concept of family is being eroded further. And there's just one more point, just to add on, is the issue of the parents is a big issue, and throughout history, throughout cultures, throughout religions, it's always been when they are elderly, the family took honor, pride, and felt humble and worthy to look after the parents. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Isra, ayah number 23, and your Lord has decreed that you worship none except Him, and to parents, good treatment whether or one or both of them reach old age with you. There are key words there with you, i.e., our personality as humans, our natural disposition is to be with our parents. Doesn't mean that it will all go swimmingly. It doesn't mean there'll be ups and downs. It doesn't mean that you may have to wake up in the middle of the night. You may have to listen to their concerns. You may have to be more practical around them. You may have to adjust the way you do things in the home. That's fine. It's difficult, but this is the natural thing when it's all come and said and gone. And when the parents leave this world, a person feels calm, satisfied, dignified in how he looks after their parents. And this is the real deep issue. What is the society promoting? Care in a scientific way or in a human way? Scientific way is, okay, have they had their personal hygiene done? Have they had their medical treatment given? Have they got a pillow? Okay. Have they got an interaction? Okay. TV, that's fine. An iPad, that's fine. Done. This is not the natural, normal, and connected way of the bond. The one who's being looked after by the hands of their son and daughter is a different hand than the hand of someone else. It means more. The ones who's had the four walls of the home, it means more than just four walls in a different place. The one who's hearing the voice, the sounds of kids, grandkids, nephews, nieces, children, is different just to hearing the voices from the TV. So this social care is more than just the scientific care of flesh and bones and sores and hair. It's a relationship, and it's a history, it's a memory that fits naturally with the children looking after the parents. So Jazakallah khair for listening. Leave us your comments below. Are you looking after someone? Have you had that challenge? Have you had that experience? uh, we would love to hear from you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.